Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Shearer Smokes. And you join me here in the very picturesque Japanese gardens, which are situated about 2-3 miles outside my old hometown of Dollar. And it's such a great place to come and have a wander around, especially if you're into plants and trees. There's a whole range of species on show, but just the actual layout of the garden itself and the history of it is quite fascinating as well. So the Japanese gardens were the brainchild of a local lady to Dollar, known as Isabella Christie. Now, Isabella was a great adventurer and a great traveller, and in fact she was the very first Western lady ever to meet the Dalai Lama in person. And there's some great tales surrounding her different travels throughout the world. She travelled by train, steamship, even by donkey to get to some destinations. But she always travelled in style, as in she always made sure that her party dresses were packed, just in case there was that invite to dinner. And one invite did arrive, and it was from Lord Kitchener while she was on a trip to India. And Lord Kitchener was the Commander-in-Chief at the time, and she was invited to a banquet there with all the other dignitaries. But it was on a trip to Japan in 1907 to 1908 where she fell in love with Japanese culture and Japanese style of gardening and their love of gardens. And she decided to bring a bit of that back to Dollar. And when she came home, she started work on her dream of her own Japanese garden with the help of some Japanese expertise that she brought back with her. Now, the gardens were opened in the early 1900s to the public and opened to great acclaim. Many people came to view them in their thousands. Queen Mary was one VIP visitor. And to walk through the gardens now, it's just a lovely thought that her legacy still lives on. In 1955, the gardens closed to the public, although they were open for private tours. But in 2017, a trust fund was set up, and the gardens were reinstated to their former glory. And it's just a great thing to come and walk through different woodland walks, and the garden itself is just. It's just such a great, tranquil, and yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Now, one of the gardeners was a Japanese man by the name of Matuso, who came from Japan after his family were lost in an earthquake, and he lived locally and worked in the gardens. And he was such a great and well-loved character. He was known to dress in his traditional Japanese regalia on his days off and parade through the villages. And locals at the time believed he was the Japanese emperor. And when he died, he was actually buried in the local churchyard in the full regalia, which is just a mile up the road. But it's a nice thought that his memory, and of course Isabella's, is ongoing as you walk around these gardens, as they all have their influence no matter where you look, which is a nice thought. And yeah, it's a nice place to come and chill. It's, as I said, it's so chilled and calm, as you'd expect Japanese gardens to be, and to cause that effect. But a little bit now about what I'm smoking today. So yeah, come to a quieter spot. There's no smoking actually allowed in the gardens. So I just came to a different backdrop just to share with you what I brought with me today. And it's my Savinelli Cocktail 613 with the fishtail stem, one of my favourite pipes, I would say. It's nice and light, it's really nice to hold, and it's very comfortable when holding it in your mouth. And in the bowl I've gone for another favourite, and it is the Nutty Irishman from C&D. I think I've mentioned this before, but it's a great outdoor smoke. I find it an amazing smoke when you're in and around woodland, such as a place like this. It's just fantastic. That nutty burley coming through is just amazing. Yeah, so it's been a great afternoon. I'm going to do something that I've not done before, and I should actually do it. Is I'm going to put a link in the description box, and hopefully that should take you to the garden website, and it gives you a fuller history, a little bit more about Isabella herself, and a nice timeline on how the garden was created. So worth checking out if you're interested. But it's been a great visit today, and by the time this goes out again, I'll be back at work. So I hope you've all had a great week. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to leave you with some pictures of the surrounding gardens, which I hope you enjoy. And until the next episode, as always, my name's Shearer. Enjoy your smokes.